making me need to rush to record because you look so frickin' cute. Goodness, could you get any more adorable? Like, could you, if you tried? Can I? Hi, everybody. You look right there. Can you see? Oh, okay. You just want to cuddle and melt. Hello, you beautiful people! David here, or Sin City Yeti, or just Yeti, whichever you prefer. And today, I got a special book. Just in time for the holidays, a good friend of mine, Chantelle, just released her own prompt book. And I'm going to test it out today. I am so excited for this. I've already kind of looked through it, and there's some interesting prompts. And I haven't found a bad prompt yet. I'm really liking this, and I think you will too. So if you're looking for a gift for an artist, or if you just want a little treat for yourself. No, this video is not sponsored. Yes, I am supporting a friend of mine because this looks cool, and I can't wait to try it out. Like, I will say, I did learn some lessons from Mariah Elizabeth's book, so we're going to change some things on this book just to help the paint stick, because I am going to paint the cover. But I haven't decided what I'm going to do on the inside yet. I might do some like paper crafts. I might do some glitter. No, I'm not going to do any glitter. We got paint. I have markers. I have colored pencils. I got pens. So I do have an array of stuff that I could do. I could even paper craft something. I'm in a paper crafting kind of mood. But I am talking so much, and I want to get started on this book. I'm sorry I'm not giving your book shaken baby syndrome, Chantelle. I'm just excited, and there's a shot to express myself. Let's catch my breath a little bit because I'm a little out of breath. I was a little too excited there. I want to start this book, but I need to make sure like I'm getting a clean cover because I'm going to be painting this cover, and I need to make sure it's clean for you all so you can see what the pristine, clean version, untouched looks. I saw eyeballs. ADHD. We need to see this getting done, and I want to get started on it. So, no more procrastinating. Let's go get to creating. I am so ready to start pulling out some of my other little craft and art books from other YouTubers. And then here we go with Chantelle's book. I'm so excited about this. So this book cover. Now, if you look at the Create This book, you could kind of see like the edges are all messing up and the spine is messing up and it's flaking off. I really like this, and I don't want the art to get destroyed, so I'm going to have to try some stuff on it. Now, I do have this straight blade over here. I have used it before to kind of like score the surface of paper. I was thinking that might help, but I also have some sandpaper, so I did pull out the sandpaper, and I'm gonna see if I can scratch up this cover, but I want it to look good, and there's all sorts of fun prompts in it, and like, oh, wait a minute, what is this? Made in the USA, Las Vegas, Nevada, my hometown. That's cool. I really didn't expect to see that the book was made in Las Vegas. That's kind of interesting, huh? I wonder if Create This book has something similar. Going through the back of the pages, and nope, there's nothing here, but going to the front of the book, there is a manufactured in the United States, so it doesn't say where. So how cool. Anyways, now we're gonna go and try this sandpaper. I want to rough up the surface of this cover so the paint adheres a lot better. Don't need it flaking off. I know it's gonna get a little dinged up and stuff because of opening and closing the book, but I want it to last a little bit better. I want to create some art on this that I like. Sandpaper seemed to work and do its job, so let's go ahead and get down a base coat of this black, and I'm gonna cover the entire book in black, and I'm gonna try to keep some of the stuff about the book visible. So like, I still haven't decided if I want to cover the back of the book where Chantelle is. I feel a little weird, so we're just gonna paint around it for now. I didn't scratch it up or anything either, so I'm gonna leave it as is, and uh-oh. Seems like the puppies are excited somebody is home. This is what I have to deal with whenever my husband comes home from work. They get super excited and they have to get my attention to let me know Daddy's home. I think it's kind of funny how much like chipmunks Baxter sounds. If you weren't wondering, Baxter's the barker. Onyx will bark, but only when he's demanding something. If he's not demanding anything or there's no intruder, he doesn't bark. He's pretty quiet. Baxter, on the other hand, he is very talkative. He just loves barking. At least he isn't like have an ear-piercing bark.
Go party.
But it is funny how sped up he sounds like little chipmunks. Does that mean that chipmunks are barking at us?
What an odd thing to say.
ADHD. I did want to at least finish up the cover, so I was like really trying to get this black down so it could dry while like we start to eat dinner and that kind of stuff. But now that that's covered, Wow, look at that. Baxter bounding. Let's watch that again. You can just feel his excitement. And then, of course, the little zoomy run of Onyx. Oh, I love them. My happy little family. Excuse the mess. Onyx likes to make a mess with his toys. And look at that. That was quite the jump there, Onyx. Okay, but now getting back into this book. Now that all of that is taken care of, we've had our dinner, got our little like visitations with each other after our days and seeing what we've been up to, I think I can get back into painting this book. So, I of course have to paint the brush.
First things first.
And I guess I just went kind of boring and was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave the brush looking like a brush. I don't want to do anything too special with it. Here I am completely like neglecting the little metal clip on the brush to hold the bristles in place. I don't know why, for some reason, like my brain was just like, white means done with that. And so I didn't even catch it until almost the end. I know, spoilers, but we're gonna get on to like my idea with this. So,
the plans!
How am I painting this cover? I was a little stumped for a moment. That's why I went with all black at first. But then as I was looking at it, I was like, well, the title of the book kind of feels like a prompt because I did go through the book and I got to see the prompts and I'm like, it feels like a prompt in itself. How much art can you make? And if you look through the prompts, it kind of, to me, invokes like a reflection of your art that you've done over the years. It just kind of like really makes you think about like how you use art and what does it mean to you and what do you think about. There's a lot of like just reflection and it really got me thinking about like my art journey, where I've been, what I've done, that kind of stuff. Looking at the title in comparison with that, I was kind of like, huh, you know, it kind of feels like a prompt in itself. How much art can you make? Well, to me, the answer for that is a universe full of art. And I think that's true for most artists. When we create, we are creating like these windows into our minds and this internal universe that we have of ourselves, our experiences, our likes or dislikes. All of that stuff coming together. So it just kind of made me think of like, I don't know, not necessarily existential, but just like, I feel so small when looking at everything else around me kind of thing. So I was like, let's just go with a universe motif. I just kind of like the paintbrush is painting the universe in and the background is what has already been painted. And like now we're painting in a nebula. That was just my idea with this. I do like it. It's just, the brush is a little big. Like after I put it all together, it's like my only complaint. I feel like I should have made some other details a little bit smaller, but that's neither here nor there, and that's not that big of a deal. You still get the gist of what it is. I will say though, color matching the blue on the brush with my paint so I could create this gradient was not that easy. There's this difference between the glossy texture of the paintbrush and the matte texture of the paint. But I think I did a pretty good job. I'm not gonna complain too much. And then, of course, once all those different elements were in, you got the nebulas and planets, there's like a supernova. I just thought it needs stars.
All the stars up in the sky.
Now, you may be noticing like, why are you like poking all of those little dots all over the place?
Okay.
That's gonna take forever. It does take forever. Let me tell you, it takes forever. I am very aware of this. I love making space art. Look at this, look at that, look at all of these. Yeah, see? I love making space art and I love putting in all the little stars. I like the intentionality when I place each and every star. I feel they look more real. I don't need to be going on these technical tangents though, because I am missing telling you what I'm doing to the cover right now, which is Mod Podging it to protect it. Thought I was gonna do a time lapse to show the Mod Podge drying, but it was taking so much longer to dry and I'm like, I don't have the memory to waste for this. So I just stopped it and then just waited till it was dry all the way.
This is taking too long.
There were still like some crusties on it and I needed to clear off the pages. I didn't need anything sticking together, but it's all protected now. I'm very happy with that. And it does seem to be sticking so much better. Like when I bent the cover, didn't feel like separate layers. They felt as one. So that means I can go on to the next one, and we're gonna do the back cover. I don't know why I felt really weird about painting the little paint drop with Chantelle's face in it.
That's weird, right?
I was thinking of ways that I could paint around it, and I was like, I could just do something similar to the front. So I started painting like a nebula from the front, going around the drop. But as I was painting, I kept covering more and more of this drop, and I finally was just like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid coloring over this drop. And it even, like, looking over at Mariah's book, I completely covered the back cover. So I thought I might as well do it. Just paint over it. It's part of the book. You know what Chantelle's lovely face looks like. You have a picture of the back cover. You can always order it again. Just put some art on it. This is your art book now.
I'm just putting some personal flavor on it.
I just started going with it, creating just another fiery looking nebula. And if you're wondering like how I'm doing this, it's just a bunch of like layering different colors and kind of blending them before the acrylic fully dries. I'm blending out the yellows with the oranges. I'm blending out the whites with the blues and just kind of creating this cloud-like texture for the nebula. I really like it. I'm loving the way that this looks. It's got some fun texture from all the brush strokes. But it's time I confront this image. What am I gonna do with it? So I haven't quite figured out at this point what I'm gonna do yet. And I'm also like getting in my own head about covering it up, even though like I've already covered it up. So I'm just going in with the black, and I'm gonna start blocking out something. And it's immediately at this point, as soon as I blocked it out like this, well, I'm still like having my little freak out. I re-look at it and I'm like, oh my God, it kind of looks like a squid. Squid. So that idea then popped in my head. Like, okay, well, now I'm seeing a squid. Like just from the separation of the way that I did this drop, kind of looks like the head and the body of a squid. So we're gonna go with it. I do kind of wish I would have like started this a little sooner because the squid I think is a little big for the background. I do like it. It's just one of those things like if I would have planned this out a little bit better, I could have left myself more room to do what I wanted to do. But I'm working with what I got. Go working in the moment. That's how I create these random things is I just get this random idea and I'm like, I'm gonna go with that. That seems like fun. And that was the squid. It's just like, I like this idea of a squid. So I just started painting a squid and it is a fun idea. I do like the silhouette. I think I did a pretty good job of like marking out the silhouette, not really sketching out anything, just going with the flow. The shape worked out perfectly. So Chantelle, your droplet is very reminiscent of a squid to me.
But I might be weird.
It's just the perfect shape of a squid. Now that I got the squid down, I'm doing like my touch-ups on the sides, just kind of like making sure everything looks cohesive, like the front cover flows really nicely into this back cover, and I'm laying down my colors. So how did I pick these colors? Well, to tell you the truth, I was having quite a hard time picking out the colors because the background is so vibrant. There's a lot of vibrant colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, the blues. They're so vibrant, and it kind of like didn't leave a lot of options open to me because I'm like, well, now no matter what I do, it's gonna kind of get lost in the background. So I leaned into it. I just said, let's go with this. We can use vibrant colors in other ways. So I did like these vibrant pastels, which made me think of neons. I did kind of like this. I was like, ooh, a neon squid. I don't fully stick with this idea, but I don't change the elements too much just because it was kind of starting to separate itself from the background. I'm also adding in a little bit more clean and crisp line work to it versus the background, how it's very blended and almost amorphous looking. There's not a lot of line work to it. It's just, you know, it's nebula clouds. They are amorphous. But along with the line work, I didn't want to like separate myself too much from this background. So I did kind of like want to still do some blendy work with it. And I felt like the background colors, the main colors are this blue, orange, red, yellow. So I decided to go with kind of more of the opposites, the greens, purples, and blues, and just create blends with them to make this squid, the space squid. I don't know what I'm gonna call him, but for now he's the space squid.
Oh, squid from outer space with lasers for eyes.
So for now he's the space squid. We're just gonna go with that space squid thing. And with all of the blendy work, which did really help separate it from the rest of the background, it now is working a lot better. It doesn't look too busy, even though the background is a very busy background. and the squid alone has got a lot going on about it. It's just, yeah, anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. We're just gonna go back to making these tentacles, and I wanted to try to make each one a different color. I mean, they kind of are, but I was just kind of having some fun with it at this point. Like, I stopped stressing, I stopped overanalyzing this little squid, just had my fun with it, with these pastel colors. I don't tend to use pastel colors in a lot of my work, so this was just a new character. This is a little bit different. I like the color usage, and I thought it was kind of fun. And then I felt like the little shape on his head was looking like a comet. So I was like, let's just add in some comet details there and creating the head. And I noticed like squids tend to be speckled, and I was like, oh, that works for stars. Let's go ahead and speckle this squid. And I do think it worked. It did make it look very cosmic. It's got this whole space theme going on that I'm totally vibing with now. I'm really happy with. And then I had to recreate like the squid eyes, and I didn't go with just black. I went in with a really deep Prussian blue to kind of help give it that depth. And I am so happy I went with this deep Prussian blue because the eyes do look so alive right here and fun. It's almost like the squid's almost looking a little curious. Like it almost is like, I can see you looking at me kind of artwork. And I'm very happy with this. My husband was just like, you should try and recreate this squid on its own so you could turn it into a sticker. So yeah, I might try that again. It was just a happy little fun accident.
Then accident, fun, another accident, 3 funs in a row.
Just going with what I feel in the moments, and I created Space Squid. And then we got all of the stars added in, and because you've already seen me Mod Podge, you don't need to see me do it again, so we just kind of jumped to, it's already Mod Podge now. There was nothing special, it was just brushing over it and making sure everything was set all nicely, and yeah, I think they go together. I'm very happy with this book. I feel like I answered the first prompt, which is the cover of the book itself. How much art can you make? I can make a universe filled with art. Each of us can make a universe filled with art. So, now it's time to get started. And of course, the first page is the start date and end date. I'm gonna put my start date, which was November 18th. So I did start it the day I started getting sick, where I was just like, oh, I can write this out, I can be fine. And no, like, I could not write it out. It definitely, like, I was still doing art while I was sick. When I wasn't in bed sleeping, I was still like, I can do something. So I would do art, and I was creating this. Maybe that's why I created the squid in space. It was like a fever dream. While I am gonna put in the start date, I'm not gonna finish this page. I'm gonna make this page the very last page I complete in the book. So put in the date I started so I can use that as reference for the future. So future David, if you're watching this again, like, you're very welcome. Anyways, I'm having difficulties picking a prompt, so I'm gonna use a random number generator. I was thinking of using dice, but I think a random number generator will work better. And let's see, what do we get? 64, so we're gonna go to page 64. And it's not this. Here we go. What's the worst color? Use it. Ooh boy. Well, you guys have probably seen that I've used my least favorite color quite a bit because I try to make sure I'm using every color, and I don't want to just not use a color because I personally don't like it. So that color's yellow. I really don't like yellow at all. And now I gotta use it on a page. So I'm gonna think for a moment, and I'm gonna try to get some inspiration. Think. And while I was off thinking about my inspiration, I found this, and it's yellow, so it caught my eye, and I'm like, well, I'm planning on making a yellow piece, or a primarily yellow piece, and this caught my attention, so maybe it's the universe speaking to me. Now, this little binder, you might notice, like, for some of you elder millennials out there, you might recognize this, because this was very popular back when we were in high school. I know, I'm old. Anyways, artwork from my teenage years to early 20s is in here. Not all of it. So maybe I can go through this and look for it. That train and submarine, that stuff's from middle school. That's from elementary school. Oh, look at this dragon. Oh, cool. Trip from India inspiration. Oh, another dragon. As I'm going through this other stuff that I'm not gonna do, I was that weird kid who was obsessed with dragons in high school. I don't know if some of you remember those dragon button-up shirts, the silk ones. Yeah, I was that kid. I wore those. Anyways, my obsession with dragons is neither here nor there, except for this art piece. And I think I'm gonna do a dragon art piece. So I'm gonna finish going through this, but I'm not really seeing anything else I wanna do in the book yet. I am seeing some of my old artwork and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. But we got to choose one of these. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with this sketched out dragon that's not quite finished, but with like, almost looks like toxic poison bubbling from underneath it. And it's white and it's dark. Looks like it's been beaten up quite badly. Like he got into a fight with somebody, that's for sure.
Hey, listen, mister. It was a massacre.
And I think I can do him a little better. So I'm gonna start like sketching out some ideas. I probably should have sketched this out on a separate piece of paper, but I was just kind of like, let's just go with the flow. Let's just use the book. So I'm using this dragon I made, and I was 17, 18 when I made this one. I can remember laying down on the bedroom floor, drawing this out, and spending like so much time with the little detail work, and I was being super careful with it. I can remember creating this dragon. At the time, I was unfortunately scared of using color, so I just used pencils, and then because I wasn't using color, I kind of got bored with it, and then it just sat off to the side, and it never got completed. So I think now, you know, oh my god, 20 years later, going back to this and recreating it, but with color this time, and I'm gonna use it with the worst color because it's already kind of reminding me of poisons, and poisons tend to have, like, in my head, like poisons and yellows and this worst color kind of working together. So I'm just like sketching out a pose, and it was making me realize it's been a long time since I have drawn a dragon. Jiminy crickets, like I am a rusty, but after some work and some erasing and getting these lines down, I feel like I got a good pose. I'm very happy with this. I got the details down and it's kind of looking like this dragon. So we can add some colors, and I decided I'm gonna use the colored pencils again. So I really like the way that these colored pencils look in the last art piece I did with colored pencils. So I was like, let's try them in the book. Let's see if we could do this. Plus, somebody in the comments says comment right here. So I'm like, you know what? I got some Q-tips, I got some rubbing alcohol. Why don't I try these two together to help blend these colors, especially because rubbing alcohol tends to evaporate really quick, so hopefully it won't mess the paper up too much. I don't know, but we're gonna give it a try. And so I, of course, lay down all my colors, and surprisingly, yes, it worked out really well. The rubbing alcohol on a Q-tip, just doing little tiny circle blends, worked out beautifully. I love this. Look at this yellow. It looks like pee-pee.
The color of my own pee-pee.
That is the worst color to me. That is why I don't like yellow. It's pee-pee. I got the color I wanted, and I'm creating a piece with it. I just really don't like it. And then of course, like other, like not really pretty colors. So like when water is got like this weird greenish tint to it, like it doesn't look very appealing. You don't want to go and swim in it. So like I put the yellows and a little bit of this weird green and blues into the water. Yeah, that doesn't look very appealing. And then browns for poo-poo, poo-poo browns for the rocks. And like, I'm just creating like a color combination for this environment that looks good. I'm happy with it. Believe me, I am very happy with the way everything came together for this background, but it's pee-pee poo-poo colors in a toilet. Like
pee-pee, but also to a lesser extent, poo-poo.
Those are the colors. They are the worst colors to me. And I think I can still make something pretty using colors I really don't like. And I'm happy with that. It looks good. So now that the background is done and I got all these in, I can go in and start like working with this dragon. I do still want it to stand out, but I do want the primary color of the dragon to also be yellow, which is, you know, it's tricky because like I got a yellow sky in the background and I'm putting a yellow dragon in front of this yellow sky. So I got to make them separate. So I decided to go down with white first on the color pencils, you know, my Derwents. And I created this blend between the white and the yellow. Of course, went back over it with the alcohol. Okay, that's looking good. And so I could kind of stay true to this old design. I decided to go in with purple because, like, yes, that dragon is just a sketch, but I needed the colors to kind of match. And I got this really light color up against this very dark color. And yellow tends to be a very light color, which can show up as white in grayscale pictures, with this purple, which can show up as dark gray black in grayscale pictures. So it's like, you know what? Purple and yellow work. Purple is like associated with poisons and toxic things, at least like it is to me because of Pokemon, because poisonous Pokemon tend to be purple. So maybe that's where I'm pulling that from. But I wanted to stay true to the design of myself that I made 20 years ago. I'm old. So I got the yellow down and we're going in with this purple, doing all the little different line work and all these little bubbles. This was actually very fun. It took me way back to when I used to sketch back in high school and just doing like little fun details like this. Like, is it realistic? Probably not. Although it does kind of make the dragon look like it would have a skin more like a salamander versus a lizard. So the scales would be different. Although salamanders don't have scales, they're amphibians. Anyways, maybe this dragon lives in a swamp. So like, because a dragon lives in a swamp, it's gonna be around water all the time, and it's gonna be like an amphibian almost. I can vibe with that. So it's got like slippery, slimy skin, kind of like a salamander. It's a salamander dragon, and it's poisonous. And I'm actually kind of happy with this. This head gave me a little trouble because like, I probably wouldn't make a dragon with a head like this now, but I do like it after adding in some more of the color for like the ear frills and stuff, and no longer look like a friar or a bald man, and going in with more of these purples and stuff, it did start like looking more draconic. But for a minute there, when it was just the yellow, all I was seeing was like the top of the head of a bald man, and was not the vibe I was going for. That's for sure. But then once I got that down, I was just kind of looking at it. I'm like, you know what? I need to add an outline. It just needs a little bit more help standing out from the sky. So I went back through with one of my fine liners. I did put in an outline. I'm very happy with that. It does give it the dimension I need. While it does still look kind of like it's part of the background, it also looks like it has a spotlight on it. Like, this is the main character. And so I'm happy with that. I'm glad I went ahead and just outlined it. But it is done. Got my signature added in. But why don't we go ahead and compare it with the old piece? Looking at the new piece versus the old piece, well, I will say the biggest difference right now is the old piece, he looks like he just got beat up. Went up against a dragon he probably shouldn't have gone up against, and he didn't necessarily win that fight. But I don't want to have that picture of him in this artwork, so we're gonna say like, this is his younger days. I'm okay with that because it does kind of look like he's got this like, come over here, babe, I see you. Like, there's a lady dragon on one side, and then he's sitting there like looking at this lady dragon like, yeah, I just killed a dragon for you. Yeah, he's totally got that vibe. And that's his backstory now. He's totally just like flirting. He's doing his little like flirty dragon dance. He just kind of like slithered up that rock like, hey girl, you like what you see over here?
Like what you see, ladies. All right.
And he does kind of look like he would be a creep like that. That's part of the poison element. Yay! Toxic masculinity dragon. Okay, now that these are done, I am loving the way they look, and I think that's it for now. Got the cover done, and I got these pages done, and I'm really liking the way they look. So I think it's time for the final review. So I'm super excited about this. I gotta say, this is a good art prompt book. Like, okay, first off, loving my cover. So let me explain a little bit with this cover. So the title itself made me think like, how much art have I actually made in my life? And like the answer that kept popping up back up into my head was like, an entire universe is full. So that was like what I went with. I treated the cover question, like the title, as a prompt. I made a universe fill, and that's weird. It's so cute. I love it. It's just, I feel like it fits so well. It's just as busy as the background, and I love it. I also gotta say, like, I looked through some of these prompts. There are a lot of good prompts. Like, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a prompt you don't really like. Like, what's your perfect birthday? Draw the location or activity of your dreams. I already have an idea for that. Like, my 22nd birthday, my friends and I, we did a cake war for my birthday. Like, we all brought our own cake and other things to throw at each other at the park. I gotta say, like, Cool Whip is one of the best things for a food fight. Like, let me say, you just grab a handful of that and chuck it, and it just, yeah, great. Police were called on us, police showed up. They ended up dumping a cake on my head when they found out why we were there. It was a good time. There was a lot of people there, a lot of cake everywhere. It was a mess. We went well into the evening cleaning up our mess, because we did promise, like, I made sure everybody's like, if we're gonna do this and you're gonna show up, you need to clean up your mess. We're not gonna leave a mess. Neither here nor there, but like, there's a lot of good prompts, so like I could do something like that, but, what's the worst color and use it? I really do not like yellow. I do not like creating with yellow. This, like that PP yellow, that poo-poo brown, like, ugh, gross colors. I'm so happy with this though. I know I only got one prompt done, but I mean like, I got both covers done and a prompt. I think I'm okay. Like, I'm really loving this, and I totally think I did my old artwork justice. I think young David would love that I recreated this. I can remember drawing it like senior year, laying on the ground in my bedroom, feet up just drawing. Like, that was when I created this. I was afraid to use color back then, but not no more, as you can see. So I think like young David, he would look at this and then like see 20 years later, like I still created that design. I love it. I love it so much. Maybe next time, like, I got a couple more of these, so maybe this one next. Who knows? I think it would be fun to recreate some of my old dragons, but yes, I'm excited. Please check out the book. I'm leaving it down in the description. Go check out Chantelle's channel. Go check on Amazon for the book. If you have any artists in your family, they're gonna love this. It's gonna be a great present. And you know what? Like, it's a hard year. Support a small artist, support small businesses. I think this is a great way to do that. So yeah, anyways, be safe out there. Don't get lost. Don't get stolen. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, you beautiful people.